What's good, guys? Welcome back. Today, as you can see, I'm talking to you face to face. No, but lately I've been thinking about including more of these face to face kinds of videos, both for me and you guys, but especially for me to include more educational content. I've been thinking about that for quite some time, actually. And I've been starting to see that, sadly, in my recent latest time now, I don't have as much time for filming and making training videos, like filming me during the workouts as I used to. So change in plans and content will be quite good for me right now. And I think it could be good for all of us, because a new format could be fresh, both for me to make, but also for you as the viewers to see and listen to. And I will be trying to make more, as I said, educational videos, but a series, if you will, where I will be comparing different kinds of approaches and methods, both in training, and whether it's about training or psychology or life in general, but mostly connected to training. And I thought this could be a fresh start, a good introduction to this era. And today I want to just sit down with you guys and talk about something that is quite common for the natural gym bro and for all of us that are attending activities in the gym. And this approach is called progressive overload. What does this mean? Well, progressive overload is a common concept if we talk about the gym culture. And it means literally how we progress as athletes. How do we overload our stimuli? How do we change things up to maybe get activated by new kinds of stimuli in the gym? Because if we don't change things up in our routine, or both in the gym or in our daily life as well, we will get stuck in the same place and we won't progress. So what do we do if we get stuck in a plateau? Well, change things up. And this is where progressive overload comes in. And there are several ways you could use progressive overload. I'm going to talk about some common ones, even maybe some new ones for you, but let's see how it goes. And before I start with first one, I also want to mention the beauty of progressive overload is adaptable for anyone. It's not only for beginners, but progressive overload is an essentiality, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, or even elite lifter. Because you will always need to progress, moving forward, develop. It will always be crucial. Yeah. But with that being said, I want to start off with an easy one and quite common one, and that is volume. And volume is an area which revolves around how many reps do we perform in an exercise, how many sets do we perform these reps in, do we do 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 12, or so on. And the third one, which I think is forgotten, but I want to mention it, is maintaining strength, especially when you're on a caloric deficit. Then if you maintain your strength while you're eating less calories, it could be an effective way to like progress, because later on when you will get back to maintaining calories or even bulking up again, it will have progressed because you've been maintaining. Because when you're on a cut and you're eating less food, it is quite common. It is a quite common thing to lose muscle, lose weight. It's really hard not to. So if you're able to maintain as much strength and muscle as well as possible, it will be a really good step for progression. But yeah, that was volume, and the next one is efficiency. And with efficiency, I don't just mean like how effective is your workout or how efficient are you in your sets, in your execution. I'm more specifically talking about tempo, range of motion. Like you could use efficiency in progressive overload by slowing down your reps, doing tempo, doing negatives, and negatives is like it means that you slow down your rep. When you for example go down on a squat, you perform with a slow pace and then maybe you explode up. You could also use efficiency here with both range of motion and past range of motion, where range of motion is referring to like the distance you perform the lift in. Like an ordinary range of motion in, let's say, the barbell back squat would be 2 parallel, or what you're capable of, what your body, your joints, your anatomy is capable of. That would be ordinary range of motion. Then we could add the past range of motion, and here we talk about doing more distance and performing a lift up beyond the range of motion that you actually is capable of. Here we could talk about doing deficits. We could talk about doing elevated squats, flat squats, just adding more range of motion to the lift itself, for maybe lengthening your muscles and so on. But yeah, the next one here is a quite forgotten one in my book. That is density. Density, we could like describe it as doing more work in more amount of time, or switch it around, doing less work in less amount of time. And here putting a lot of focus on, for example, rest. How long do we rest between the sets in the workout itself? Like, for example, if we're prioritizing more bodybuilding, more hypertrophy work, our rest periods will often, not always, but often be shorter than if we are specialized in more strength-based training, more powerlifting type of approaches. So that's something to consider as well. And yeah, that was like a short one. And the next one I want to talk about, also quite a short one, but intensity, where intensity means like, yeah, it means how intense your workout is, of course, but with the definition of intensity, I want to like mention how heavy weights are we moving. If we talk about intensity, if we're programming and powerlifting program, we talk about the weight itself, like how heavy are we performing this set in, or something like that. But here we could also talk about like speed, power, like execution of the lift, like maybe explosivity. We could focus on speed and power in a squat, like exploding up with power in the from a bottom of a squat or something like that. Yeah. So these are all common like factors that I think is really important to think about. And with that being said, I wanna talk about the last one I'm gonna talk about today, and that is frequency. And if you ask me, frequency is one of the, if not the most important one here on this list. You will need all of the listed like factors for progressive overload, but for me personally, adding and adjusting my frequency, both like frequency in how often I perform a movement or how often I train each muscle groups in a week, or even like how often I train, is one of the most crucial things that has been a big part for my development as well, because I myself know that if I don't perform a lift or practice a lift often, I will easily tend to forget some domains of the setup. Then I will get thrown off in the execution itself and so on, because it's, when we talk about strength training especially, it's important to perform each set as similar to the like previous one, like trying to copy it down to the T. And that's why I think repetition and frequency is really, really important, because when you do something often, over and over again, like, yeah, really often, it creates a routine. And if it becomes a routine, it becomes something automatically. You do it without effort. You do it without thinking actively about it. So then it also will be easier to think about other stuff you need to work on as well. And for the strength part, I think my lifts has been improving the most when I've practiced them like really often and so on. So, but I won't like dismantle or disown any of these. I think all of these are as important as the next one. So keep that in mind. But these are some, I think these are the most common ones when we talk about progressive overload. When we get stuck in the same phase, the same weight, we need to either like, for example, up the weight and decrease the reps and sets. We could try some isometrics and tempo type of movement. Yeah, isometrics is a really good one as well that I've been incorporating for myself. And that means like holding a weight statically. For example, it could be an isometric movement to walk out on a squat just with a heavy weight, like heavier weight than you can squat, like maybe 120, even 150% of your 1 rep max. Just walk out with the weight, stand with it on your back with like 10-20 seconds, and then go back, because then you get your body used to that heavy weight, and then it will become easier to perform the reps themselves. Same with the like bench. You could just unrack it and hold it like this for same 10-20 seconds with a heavier weight than you're used to, and in that way you could like adapt your CNS and make your body more like stabilized and calm in that type of weight class. But yeah, that was it for me today. I got some more videos coming up in some other educational topics, but more about that next time. See you guys. Bye.